You live in a world where Apple is basically the final boss of companies. But the funny thing is, it almost didn't exist. So let's roll back to 1969, where baby boomers were busy hating the government and refusing to fight in wars, and a bunch of nerds were trying to turn this tiny new invention called the microchip into something useful. Enter Steve Wozniak, a kid who loved computers so much he'd read circuit manuals for fun. Problem was, computers back then were the size of a refrigerator and about as personal as one. Then, in 1974, this personal computer appears, and it's basically a box with blinking lights. Still, it blew Woz's mind, and he dove in. Meanwhile, computer clubs started popping up, including the Homebrew Computer Club in San Francisco. This is where Woz shows up with his homemade creations. And, oh look, there's Steve Jobs too. Jobs watches Woz roll in week after week, finally walks up and basically says, "Hey, want to sell these?" And the two Steves are born. You're probably imagining them inventing the future in some legendary garage. And yeah, kinda. Their first creation wasn't a computer. It was the Blue Box, a device that let you make long-distance calls for free. It flopped. Back to the garage. Then came the Apple I. No screen, no keyboard, no mouse, but it could do basic calculations and cost a mountain of cash. Around 200 were made, 50 sold, and they walked away with about $30,000. Not bad for two guys in a garage. But they knew real success would come from something normal people could actually use. So they built the Apple II. Woz did wizard-level engineering, combining chips until he created a machine that was cheap, compact, and could do color graphics. Steve stepped in to make it look friendly instead of like a nuclear detonator. The thing took off. 6 million units sold. Apple suddenly had billions. Life was good. Then it kind of wasn't. They went public, made hundreds of millionaires, and then immediately dropped the Apple III, which was so buggy it should have come with an exterminator. Then came the Lisa, the first computer with the graphical interface. Cool idea, terrible execution. Cost a fortune, had no apps, and barely anyone bought it. And while working on it, they kicked Steve Jobs off the team. Bad move. Jobs, being Jobs, ran off and made the Macintosh out of spite, same idea as the Lisa, but cheaper and actually marketable. The Super Bowl ad became famous, sales exploded, then fizzled because the machine was slow and expensive. Jobs clashed with Apple's CEO and eventually got kicked out altogether. Woz left too. Apple without either Steve was like a band losing both lead singers. Jobs went to make a new company called Next. Meanwhile, Apple wandered through the wilderness, making a bunch of computers that got more expensive and less interesting.
Hello, I'm Bill Gates, chairman of Microsoft. In this video, you're going to see the future, Windows.
Microsoft ate their lunch, other companies piled in. Apple got so close to bankruptcy, they smelled the paperwork. So they panicked and called the only guy who could save them. They bought Next for $400 million, which conveniently came with Steve Jobs. He returned, fired thousands of people, killed 70% of the projects, and bought out companies making Apple clones. Then he pointed his army of engineers toward a new goal: make one great computer. The iMac arrived. Sleek, colorful, fun. It sold like crazy. Apple was alive again. Then came the iBook, then iTunes, then the Apple Store. Then Jobs realized people don't sit at their desks listening to music, so the iPod arrived. 100 million units sold. Apple was climbing fast. But why stop at music? What if the iPod could also be a phone? After years of arguing over prototypes that looked like bricks, Jobs walked on stage and pulled out what was basically the future: the iPhone.
This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. So, 3 things: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communications device. An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. These are not 3 separate devices. This is one device. And we are calling it iPhone. Today, Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone. And here it is.
They sold 270,000 in 30 hours, renamed the company Apple Inc., and the rocket took off. The App Store arrived, the iPad landed, FaceTime, iMessage, new MacBooks, new iPhones every year. Apple exploded past $1 trillion. Then came the hard part. Jobs' health declined, and he stepped down in 2011. He passed away later that year, and Tim Cook stepped in to lead a new era. Cook kept the machine running: Siri, the iPhone 5, the iPad mini, Apple Watch, Apple Music, Apple TV content, HomePods, the whole ecosystem. By 2020, they hit $2 trillion. But one thing bugged them. Their computers still relied on Intel, so they dumped Intel and made the M1 chip, which was faster, cooler, and cheaper. That brings us to today. Apple hit $3 trillion, the iPhone and Mac lines are the strongest they've ever been, and Apple is now pushing into mixed reality with the Vision Pro, the first brand new category in years. Where it goes from here, we'll find out. Hit like and subscribe before Apple buys this channel too.